consensually in all sorts of interesting ways. Okay, so bondage definitely doesn't blow my hair back, but domination does, and I see my partner getting decidedly nervous at that. I have to confess, though, that I'm into domination for political reasons. I'm into how we get into positions to dominate others, whomever those others might be, for power, for money, for access to people's bodies or their labor, or just because we can. Here's the thing. Each one of us participates in creating the conditions that make it possible for some to dominate others. So none of us is strictly vanilla, even though we might not brandish our whips and our leather hosen. And I raise this because the question for me is, what's our claim in these domination stakes? And dare we ask that question at the Seder table, which brings me to Pesach, which is about exile and bondage and the Jewish claim on freedom. And I believe that exile in its broadest sense is central to the human condition. Whether exiled from a place, a family, a community, a possible way of being in the world, or simply from being able to exercise one's own power to the fullest, we are all in some ways exiles. Often, prejudice is peddled in the name of tradition, one way or another, one tradition or another, and we all carry the burdens of traditions. I think they give us a sense of belonging, they give us a sense of connectedness, but our traditions also provide the language with which we continue to exclude and banish others. Yet traditions and cultures are ever changing, thank God, and us as people push back against the conventions of the day. And this brings me to the matter of fruit. The orange on the Seder table is a result of queers resisting our banishment. It's a celebration of our difference and inclusion. Yet also humanity is haunted by strange fruit over and over. And these trees on which the bodies of those that don't matter hang exist literally or figuratively all over the world. In the language of prejudice, some even call us fruits, as if it can be an insult to be succulent and bursting with pips like the fig, or to be unitary, filled with a single stone like the olive. How wonderful that they liken us to fruit. Mouth-watering, nourishing, ripe with desire, in abundance, and I see many of us in abundance tonight, and sometimes forbidden, which for some of us can be a little kinky. I don't believe in a lord, or maybe I believe in just one, and she thankfully happens to be a black lesbian. And this lord of mine says the following: the true focus of revolutionary change is never merely the oppressive situations that we seek to escape, but that piece of the oppressor which is planted deep within us. The mystic Rumi reminds us, and I quote, that there are 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground, and when we go to ground, we find the village under the forests. Trees planted, watered, tended in our names as Jews. Some of us have been bold and humble enough to tear away at those soils, to witness the horrors of those whose lives we built over and on top of in our quest for freedom. Lives that are still so violently connected to our own. I've come to know that searching for what's hidden is part of the journey, it's part of the work. That both history and the present are shaped by stories. And the ones that are told over and over and over become the truth and the knowledge. Yet these stories are often ones of correct sex, correct gender, correct desire, the gender cookie cutters that mold pink girls and blue boys. But if any of you saw the movie Blue is the Warmest Color, you'll know that lesbians fuck any which way. There are always those stories that are silenced. They endure despite the rules and regulations of how to be and what to do in the world. And they shout back to tradition, back to power, and to this growing global culture of I, me, mine. Perhaps we are, after all, the fruits of bondage. And our work then is to dare to imagine a just world, to dare to remember the exile of others, and to know that our freedom is forever bound to theirs.